good evening, my friends. Today, I just want to go on a little tangent about racism. And I just want to explain something because it's aggravating to me. Because racism, it's not that hatred towards certain ethnicities doesn't exist. Um, you know, I mean, there's division and hatred between whites and whites and blacks, and I mean there is hatred towards other ethnicities and nations, but racism is based on the false pretense or the false premise that there actually is more than one race. So let's look at this and think about this for a second. Acts 17:26, and really in the very beginning, but God has made of one blood all nations of men to dwell on the face of the earth and has determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Adam and Eve, right? We're in the garden. That's it. The idea of the the idea that there is multiple races of humankind is based on evolutionary theory. It's based on the lie that man and women didn't come from Adam and Eve, which God created and placed in the garden. Okay, so with that in mind, knowing that we all came from Adam and Eve, we should understand that we all are, like it says here, made of the same blood. We're all the same race. There is only one race. It is the human race. And God has made up in the human race different ethnicities, ethnos, different nations. But we're all the same, right? We all came from Adam and Eve. But within our genetic information, within the DNA that God placed in Adam and Eve, He created them with the capability of becoming all the different nations that we see. That's very complex. It's hard and difficult to understand, but it's not really as difficult to understand when you really know what is the difference between a white person and a black person, or a white person and an Asian or Indian or Hispanic or whatever the situation is. The differences scientifically between us are minutia. It's minute. Like the difference between a white person's color of his skin and a black person's color of skin is 2% melanin protein in the skin. Okay, so just, and you can do the research in this. And the difference between a white person or a black person and an Asian is they store a little bit more fat above their eyelids. You know what I mean? That's it. You know, it's just, it's not that much different. And we all struggle with the same things. We all are the same. Um, we are all the same. We all struggle with sin. We all struggle with hatred. I when I was a skater, I hated preppies. When I was a preppy, I hated skaters. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. You know, sometimes the differences between us that are external, like the color of our skin or the way that we look, whatever, that just magnifies and gives us even more of an excuse to hate somebody sometimes. But we already struggle with hating people, even if they're just don't think like us. They don't have to be a different color than us. They don't have to be whatever. We just hate people who aren't us, okay? Or what we do or what we roll with or whatever. If they don't listen to music we like. You know, if I like rap, I don't like people who listen to heavy metal. If I listen to heavy metal, I don't like people who listen to rap. I mean, think about it. This is the truth, okay? So let's stop talking about racism. Let's start being truthful and say racism is based on the lie that there's actually more than one race. There is hatred in the world, though. There's hatred between brothers and family members because that's what we all are. Even though we are all needing to be born again and being adopted into the kingdom of heaven, which I promise you, there's no hatred in that family. and the remnant that exists. So we all need to get there. And the stuff that the world's talking about, we shouldn't be talking about the same thing. But I want to make sure that everybody in the church understands that racism is based on the lie that we were not created by God and all come from Adam and Eve. It's based on the lie of evolution, which says that different populations of humans sprung up all across the earth at different times, and we're not related. Amen.